I'm working as a software engineer at Apple. I did my GSoC at KDE. The third sentence would be I'm a Mr. Robot fan. If you've heard of the series.
That's great. I like that series as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Aakarsh. I'm also a KDE developer. I did GSoC with KDE. In my free time, I do watch. I'm an avid football fan. If any one of you is a Manchester United supporter, feel free to contact me for GSoC. Just kidding, guys.
Hello everyone, I'm Tushar. I'm a final year student here at Amity. I was a GSoC mentor with the Joomla, which makes a content management system like WordPress. You might have heard of that. Beyond open source, I currently work as a software engineer at a startup that's still in stealth. Nice to be here.
Hi everyone, I am Vaibhav Malik and I am a final year student at NSUT. I have been a two-time GSoC mentee at Inkscape and also a software engineer intern at Springfield. I have been contributing to open source projects for 2 years now, so feel free to ask any question related to getting started with open source contribution.
Hi everyone, I'm Gaurav Puniya. I'm a contributor at Processing Foundation and was contributing as a mentee in GSoC 2023. Apart from that, I'm leading a team of 4 doing my research work in DRDO and have also contributed to the Fit India app that's by the Sports Authority of India, which has over 5 lakh plus downloads. And my contributions to Processing Foundation has also been published as a chapter in Processing for Android, which is a book in the course curriculum of at University of Massachusetts. So feel free to connect with me over LinkedIn and you can just shoot your queries over there. Given that you have done your homework before.
So next up we'll have Shreyas.
Hello everyone, my name is GSoC. I'm third year student at Amity University Noida. I'm a machine learning enthusiast and interning at Cornerstone Solution as a machine learning intern. Thank you. That's 3 sentences from my side.
Anyone, the first one guy, Just introduce yourself, say your name, just age, that's 3 sentences to you.
My name is Sanchit and I'm doing the first semester, I did the first semester with the C programming and I'm doing this research in Amity University.
There you go.
Hello, my name is Ranjit. I completed my first semester in BTech and CSC in Amity.
That's great. You can also say less than 3 sentences if you are introverts. Just.
My name is Arman and I have completed also my first semester in BTech CSC at Amity.
It'd be great to hear some hobbies.
Hello everyone, I am Pallavi and I am currently pursuing bachelor's from biotechnology and currently I am an intern as executive operations manager. I am currently doing freelancing also as a content writer. Yeah, and I am a data science enthusiast.
Hello everyone, I am Aditya Tripathi. I am currently a second year student in BTech Biotechnology at Amity and I am an avid anime fan.
Nice. Hello.
Hello, my name is Parth. I am a 4th semester student of BTech Biotechnology here at Amity. I am a tech enthusiast and more focused on the hardware side of things.
Hi everyone, my name is Abhinandan. I'm a second year student in Amity. I'm a tech enthusiast as well. I'm a writer as well. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Divij. I am a first year student at Amity Noida. I am pursuing BCA.
Hello everyone. I am Sarthak Kohli. I have done my first semester in BCA.
So hello everyone, my name is Suyesh Pandey and I am preparing for cyber security and ethical hacking.
and right now I'm preparing for CCT, that is Certified Cybersecurity Technician.
Hello, I'm Varsha. I'm pursuing BCA from Amity University. I'm a first year student. Thanks.
Hello everyone, myself Ananya Dwivedi. I'm pursuing BCA for second year in IIT.
Good evening everyone, my name is Ananya and I'm pursuing BCA from Amity University.
Hello everyone, I'm Bhavya. I'm pursuing BCA and I am in second semester, and currently I am learning few computer languages.
Nice to meet you.
Hello everyone, my name is Angelina. I'm pursuing BCA from Amity University Noida.
Hello everyone, my name is Priyanshu. I am doing BCA second semester and I am 18 years old.
Nice to meet you, Priyanshu.
Hello everyone, I am Ashita Manuja. I am a BTech CSC student of Amity University.
Hello everyone, I am Yash Tyagi. I am BCA first year student in Amity Noida.
Hello everyone, I am Ashish. I am also a BCA student.
Hello, I'm Soumya Vishwa. I'm currently studying BCA in first year. I'm currently interested in exploring the field of UX and UI design.
Hello, my name is Nikita Grover. I'm pursuing BCA second sem.
Good afternoon everyone, I'm Shikha Rani. I'm pursuing currently BCA. I'm a first year student and my goal is to become a software developer.
Hello everyone, I am Shreya and I am currently of second semester. Thank you.
Hello everyone.
Should you stand up? That'd be great.
हेलो एवरीवन, मेरा नाम शुभम है. मैं बीटेक थर्ड ईयर का स्टूडेंट हूँ. मैंने एलियास 2019 में ज्वाइन करा था. एलियास बहुत अच्छा क्लब है, अगर आप सब इसमें ज्वाइन करना चाहते हो तो कर सकते हो. मेरे को मेरे दोस्त विजित ने इंट्रोड्यूस करवाया था एलियास, और उसके बाद तो बस अपॉर्चुनिटीज खुलती गई. बहुत सारे लोगों से बात करने का मौका मिला. तुषार भैया हो गए, विनायक भैया हो गए, इनसे मैंने बात करी GSoC के बारे में और पता चलो ठीक है, थैंक यू.
Guys, if you want to show me the friends, I can do that too. It's allowed.
Hello guys, my name is Shivkant and I am doing BCA from Amity University.
Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek Chopil. I'm a second semester student at BTech CSC.
Hello everyone, I'm Aakarsh Singh. I'm currently pursuing BTech CSC and I'm a third year student, and I'm a CD enthusiast and an upcoming internet code priest. Thanks.
Good afternoon everyone, my name is Divyansh. I'm learning CPP at the moment and dabbling my hands at game development at the same time, and I like to play Valorant.
That's great. I was CPP dev before this.
Hello, my name is Pranjal Gupta and I'm a third year BTech student.
Hello, my name is Prabhat and I'm a student of BTech CSC.
Hello, I'm Karthik. I like reading, writing and doing things with whatever coding skills I have.
Hello everyone, I'm Malik and I'm a third year student here, and by profession I would say I'm an iOS developer.
Hello everyone, I am Oppia. I am a fourth semester student in CSC.
Hello everyone, I am Vinayak. I'm a CSC student.
Hello everyone, I am Tanvay and I am a second year student in ALiAS.
Hello everyone, I am Aakarsh. Currently pursuing BTech CSC from Amity and I am a freelancer in Puniya.
Hello guys, I am Kumar Dev and I am from MCA second semester.
Hello guys, I am Ravi Bhaskar and I am from MCA second semester.
Hello everyone, my name is Karanjot Singh and I am from MCA second semester.
Hello everyone, my name is Rohan. I am from BTech CSC third year department, and I am a loss enthusiast.
Hello everyone, my name is Shivkant and I am a burnt out creator, freelancer, and I am just working on my projects now.
Hello everyone, my name is Aakarsh and I am a software engineer enthusiast.
Hello everyone, my name is Tushar and right now I'm GDSC Amity University.
जय श्री राम, मेरा नाम प्रशांत शुक्ला है। मैं एमसीए परफॉर्मेंस का साथ हूँ और विद बॉडी मेरी हॉबी है।
Hello everyone, my name is Raj and I am pursuing MCA from Amity University.
Hello everyone, myself Saket Mani. I am currently pursuing MCA. Unraveling the abstraction layers of a computer system is the things that EDX can do.
Hello, my name is Madhav and I am currently pursuing BCA Honors from GSoC Roadmap, and my Indian EO is number 4002. You can check it out. There are provided everything in the skills I know and the skills I am really providing. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Shivashish, currently pursuing MCA from Amity University Noida. I've been a tech enthusiast throughout my entire life, and recently I've been taking interest in developing and programming, and right now I'm really looking for as many opportunities as I can get, and also guidance from you guys. I'll be looking for it. Thank you.
Hi everyone, Malik this side and I'm currently pursuing BCA from Amity University.
Hi everyone, it's Manguri and I'm a first year student of Media Biomedics.
Hello everyone, I'm Shivkant. I'm a second year student of BTech CSC.
Hello everyone, my name is Ritik Kumar. I am here in 4th semester BTech CSC and I am currently looking for different opportunities where we can find to excel. I am learning different technologies like web development and DSC, but not find any way to where I go ahead, so I am here to learn something. Thank you.
I guess people who are coming in, we are starting with an icebreaker session. So, if you'd like to introduce yourself in just 3 sentences, that'd be great.
Good morning, good afternoon everyone. My name is Vinayak. I'm a student and I'm pursuing masters and I need guidance about the GSoC because I don't know how to calculate and how to.
Good afternoon everyone, I'm Arvi. I'm pursuing BTech Computer Science. I'm here for speaking some knowledge about GSoC. Okay.
Hi, my name is Vijit. I am a volunteer at ALiAS. I'm also a third year BTech CSC student and I hate web development with a passion.
Hi guys, I'm Shivam Shandil and I'm a volunteer at ALiAS. Plus, I'm into Golang development and I'm also in third year.
Hello everyone. I'm also a volunteer at ALiAS and I also like to write Rust. Yeah, that's me.
Also, I use Arch by the way.
Hello, I'm also a volunteer. I'm Ajay and I also use Arch by the way. I'm also trying to Rust. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hey everyone, myself Ridhima and I'm also a volunteer here and most of you all, I'm also pursuing and learning new languages in computer.
So, we'll do the introduction as well. I am Manan. I am a third year BTech student and I am a volunteer here. I've been writing code since 2 years and it's great to be here.
Hi guys, I'm Diya Bhandari and I don't hate web development, I actually like it quite a bit. I'm also a second year BTech CSE student.
So we'll be starting with the event in a few minutes. We'll wait for the 5 minutes and then we'll start.
A very good afternoon to all the respected teachers, staff members and students present here. I am Diya Bhandari and I will be your host today along with Malik. Today we are gathered here on the behalf of Amity University, ALiAS and GDSC Club to explore the world of open source software.
ALiAS is Amity's largest open source community run by volunteers like us, and a lot of them are present in the hall. Our motive is to promote open source software. GDSC is our Google Development Students Club, as you all know, is Google Affiliate Students Club body which focuses on all things associated with Google. We have organized this event in collaboration with them, so we'd like to give them a big round of applause for helping us with this event. You will ask, what is ALiAS? So, ALiAS stands for Amity Linux Assistant Sapiens.
We are a volunteer-run OSS community. We thrive to promote open source software culture and we are proud of the fact that in the past 5 years, 25 mentors and 25 mentees and 17 mentors were selected from ALiAS.
So, we clearly have a very experienced set of panelists and these all guys have participated in GSoC and Tushar has also mentored one of the GSoCs. So, our first speaker is Vaibhav Malik, and I guess we'll start with a panel discussion. So you guys can pick it up from there.
Hi everyone, I'm Vaibhav and I have been a GSoC mentee at Inkscape for 2 consecutive years, for 2022 and 2023. So, my tech stack is related with C++ development and that to desktop app development. So, if you guys have any questions regarding desktop app development or getting started with C++ development, because most of you would have done C++ when preparing for DSC. So, you guys can ask me any question related to that. Apart from it, if you guys feel any hesitation in getting started with open source contributions or contributing to different projects, you can start asking questions related to it.
Just a heads up, if you guys have any questions during the talk or after the talk, you can ask them by raising your hand and we'll give you a mic. We'll be asking questions as well. So,
we have a question over here.
Yeah, please.
I am learning basics of C++, but how to take
Just
it
a
to
second,
next
just-
level to participate in GS?
Okay, so most of the students start with DSK and start learning C++. So there are not many known frameworks in C++ with which you can start with development. So I'll suggest getting started with Qt or GTK frameworks. These are 2 C++ frameworks which are extensively used in app development. Most of the applications on Linux and Ubuntu are written in C++ using one of these frameworks, either Qt or GTK. So I suggest you get started with it. And you can find the documentation on the internet, but unfortunately there are not many YouTube channels or video tutorials available for this framework.
Also, do you have any tips for Java guys?
And there's no as such tip or Java key, okay, do this and you will get good at it. It's just that find some projects that you actually value and you want to see them go from start to end. So if you like take a project, like I took a project to make an app that would help the college students to see their results, their attendance and such things. So in my first semester, I developed the app along with the help of a senior, and then I published it on Play Store as well. So it was through developing that app that I got to know how to do app development in Java. So I do suggest to take a project that you might not know how to do it. Ask your seniors or anyone that you trust and just start from there. Everyone starts from zero. So that's how I learn things, and I do suggest you to do that. Okay. So just to get an idea about the audience, can you tell me what you guys know about Git or GitHub? Anyone?
2 words, version control.
Yeah, true. Anyone else? Okay, think like you are explaining it to say a school student from someone from class 10th or 11th.
Okay, so Git is like a tool, like you can say a hammer, which you can beat and make a scrap out of metal. And GitHub is a platform where abundance of the metals are there, and you can create a project about that. So you can.
Okay.
In simple word, GitHub is a platform and Git is a tool to operate and deploy the projects on GitHub. That's all I'll say.
Okay, do we have any faculty in the house? Okay, good. So I guess you guys are mature enough for my knowledge of it. I guess everyone knows about porn, what's porn. Cool. So to see that you have to go to Pornhub, correct? So Git is basically code. जिसे देखने के लिए तुम्हें GitHub पे जाना पड़ता है. Simple as that. याद रहेगी? Okay. So you guys can connect with me if you guys have any question regarding Java, Android development, or how to get started with things. Yeah, we have a question there.
So basically, sir, I'm a web developer and I did 2 projects in one, and I didn't get to know about like how to make an open source contribution. Like मैं जैसे भी GitHub पे जाता हूँ तो मैं firstly जो मतलब सबसे minimum वाले yes तो मैं उन पे जाता हूँ, पर मेरे को पूरा database देखना पड़ता है कि पूरे database में क्या हो रहा है, मतलब कहाँ function लग रहा है. मेरे को बहुत hard लगता है कि मतलब कैसे apply करूँ. तो मतलब मैं start कैसे करूँ open source, आपकी मतलब approach क्या होगी?
Okay, I faced that issue back when I was getting started with open source and all. So one thing that worked for me was, you can try that as well. Take a startup or any project that has been recently published on GitHub. First thing, उसका code base बहुत छोटा होगा, ठीक है. Secondly, उसके developers are actually like very active in their socials. You message them now, most probably within an hour or two तुम्हें उसका reply आ जाएगा. So my first contribution was to change the color code of background of a web page. So and उसके लिए भी मेरे को help चाहिए थी उनकी to set up the code base in my system. So I texted them. I got into a video call with them. They helped me set the organization was Discard. They helped me get the thing set up, and then they even helped me do my first contribution. So in small startups, the people there are very active because they want people to come in their organization and start contributing to that. So I do suggest that you can look for such organizations.
Thank you. I have a question.
So could you tell us more about like GSoC, the nature of GSoC itself? Is it considered an internship, a job, or any form of employment?
Okay, so you need to know about what's GSoC actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so for that we have to go back to 2000s. Okay. During that time, you can buy a PC, but for the softwares you need to pay for the softwares. For example, for the Windows you have to pay Microsoft. To use the Word you had to pay Microsoft, and every software was proprietary. Basically you had to pay to use everything, from editing the document to everything. So what the developers did was, they made some softwares that were free to use, and they posted the code online. That's how the open source community came by. Now for the current scenario is that those open source organizations started dying a bit somewhere around 2010 to 2012 because the developers got old and the newer generation wanted money and there was no money in open source. So what the big giants did, that they started paying students to get to know what open source actually was and start contributing to them. so that the organizations such as Linux, Processing Foundation, and many more could still live to the day. So that's how open source came by. So it's basically contributing to free software that is available to everyone, and everyone can customize it according to their need. So that's open source.
Okay, so besides GSoC, are there any other programs that actually
Yeah,
do
there
this?
are, like there is RPG, LFX, KDE, and I guess a few more. We have people who were a part of KDE and LFX here as well.
Okay, so I'm Karanjot. I contributed to a lot of open source programs like LFX, season of KDE, GSoC. Even before GSoC, I contributed to season of KDE. That was my initial start. So basically, open source organizations have their own programs as well to get involved a lot of people into open source and into their organization. And they help you get started with contributing to major code base. They would create good first issues and very beginner friendly issues that you can contribute to. I know a lot of people only know GSoC, but the other open source programs are also good, and they provide very good opportunities with an exciting stipend as well.
We have asked a lot of students like what they think that GSoC requires, and the answers we got were that you got to know Git. According to them, you got to have like, programming proficiency, and we'll get to what the meaning of proficiency is here. And they think that there's a lot of communication involved, and they'll have introverts tend to shy away from that. I don't know, and we'll have to then bust the myths if there are any.
I have a question for the audience. What do you think is the ideal time to start contributing to open source organizations to get selected for GSoC? Does anyone know what should be the ideal time that you should start contributing to the organization? Yesterday. Okay, you mean 10th Jan?
No, I mean like the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time to start is now.
Okay, good. That's a good answer.
I guess early November.
Okay. And what do you think would be the time when even if you start, you won't be able to make it?
Well, I guess till February end.
Okay, good. Okay, so the organizations are, like you get to know what organizations are selected around 22nd Feb. I got to know, okay, there is a program going on 23rd Feb. I reached out to Processing Foundation on 27th Feb, 24th Feb, and I got in contact with the mentor on 30th Feb. So as long as you guys are before me, I guess there's still time to get selected for GSoC.
My take on this is like you start contributing as early as you feel like contributing, and once you start with contributions, you get a fair idea about the code base. So before selecting any mentee, the organization would like that the mentee should know the code base, how the team collaborate on development, how frequently they meet during the development meets. So the general idea of getting started with contributions is to get you familiarized with code base, and like you should know how to build the software locally. So then only you will be able to contribute to it. No? So whenever you get comfortable with it, you are ready to participate as a GSoC mentee. And there is no fixed timeline about this, no fixed time to start contributing to. It's never too late, it's never too early. You feel like contributing, you start with contributions. That's all. I've seen people getting selected even when they started in March, and I myself started contributing in December. But for the same organization, a person started contributing in March and he got selected. So there is no fixed timeline to get started with contributions. It's just how you feel like getting started.
So, how do we find these organizations? basically. Where can we find these organizations? Where can we start contributing? What's the process of that?
Okay, so you can find these organizations based on your tech stack. For example, if I know Golang or DevOps, I would look into organizations like CNCF, Kubernetes. So basically, you need to know what tech stack you know and start looking for organizations. For example, even on the Google Summer of Code site, there's a filter option where you can filter the organization using the tech stack that you have. And once you get that organization, you can look into the issues or the projects based on that tech stack and see how you can contribute towards it.
The point here, there's a point mentioned here that there is programming proficiency needed to start with GSoC. So what's programming proficiency here, and how do I know that I should start GSoC, provided that I learned certain amount of coding? What's that certain amount of coding?
I think a lot of people would have different take on this. For example, I think you just need to know one programming language from my point of view. You just need to understand code. I think in different languages, you can easily then understand that code. For example, I started in my first year. In that time, I didn't have much coding proficiency or anything, but I just gave it a go and just started it. Once you get acquired with it, get acquired with the task, you start contributing, you start learning that skill that you need. Even in the software engineering industry, you do that as well. You learn the language afterwards your project is about. So, what's your take?
I would say that if you can understand the code that is already written there, then you are proficient enough. Because it's not like 2-hour challenge where you have to sit there and code. You can take the help of the internet and you can learn while doing the project. So if you can understand what's written in their code base, even if you can understand a file and interpret what the code is actually doing, then you are proficient enough to start contributing.
And what about the communication and collaboration part?
I want to add some inputs about when you should start and when you know your profession. There's no clear answer, but I'd like to share my story of when I first contributed to an open source project. So it was with Joomla, of course, the org that I ended up mentoring for the Summer of Code 2022. And this was in 2021 when I was in my freshman year. Relatively new to programming, but also Joomla was written in a language called PHP. Some of you might know of it. It's a relatively antiquated language that people don't often learn these days. So I found out about Joomla through an event at ALiAS, the club that's hosting this event today, held because one of our alumni was involved with Joomla and in fact was even an organization mentor for Joomla's open source programs. So at the time that I got to know of it, there was about 15 days to go for the final applications for the program. The program, by the way, was very similar to Google Summer of Code. And I had to learn about Joomla, do a qualification task, and do some other contributions just to show that I'm capable of participating and delivering on my project. And you'll be surprised to know that I managed to do that because it's not hard. You can figure things out as you go, but you have to have the grit to, first decide that you want to do it, and second, keep at it until you get it right. So yeah, that was my
Just want to ask that how's the experience of becoming a mentor in GSoC, and like how do you do that?
I'd say it's really overwhelming because the set of problems you face as a contributor in open source are very different from the set of problems that you face when you're mentoring someone, because you have to know that the person that you're mentoring is probably not a fully fledged contributor, right? So many of the people who get into Google Code are not fully fledged contributors at that point. Many of them, in fact most of them, do not know how to proceed the project completely. So if you're ever in that place and you think that you can't figure it all out by yourself, that's natural, that happens with everyone, right? So we have to kind of guess and ask them and communicate about how they think about the problem and what they think should be doing, and guide them along the way. And that's a hard problem because life is complicated. Even the contributors are busy, of course, with school, with other projects and other commitments, and you have to manage, communicate with them, and be sure that you are on the right page about when the code is going to come in, how you're going to review it, and what the direction of the project should look like now and let's say a month later.
So now I have a question about OSS in general. How do we make sure that the contribution that we want to make will actually be helpful to that project? How do we even think of a contribution that might be helpful to that project if we're new to it?
Okay, so if you're making a contribution, you have to be sure you ask people who have actually stake in the project about those contributions. So generally you pick up your issue through the project's issue tracker, usually on GitHub issues. And if not, there might be some other platform where the issue tracker is, and whenever an issue pops up, it might be an issue that you discovered yourself or other people discovered for you and you picked it up. There are inputs by the maintainers about what they think the relevance of that issue is, and so on. So that's how you gauge the relevance of your contribution, whether it really matters.
If you guys have any questions, you can ask.
Hi, everyone. The very first question I would be willing to ask, I've already heard of it, but still I would like to ask. Coming from a person who makes silly mistakes a lot, generally in coding, and I would say I have basic knowledge of coding, that I understand how they work, but I won't say that I'm very an expert in it. So coming from a person who knows all these abilities, if I start from today, what are the chances that I will be selected for GSoC this year? I would also like to add that there should not be any, if I'm very motivated, I'm like an average person who's taking interest in very I do have other stuffs to I have to maintain college.
Let me ask you, have you contributed to any code base as of now on GitHub?
Actually, that's the base for my second question, which is the moment I get into GitHub, I take a problem, an issue, and I go through it, and I get really puzzled up, and I see that I really cannot make it out. And as you said, there are simple ones, but I don't know how to get it's whatever I'm touching is really hard.
Okay, that's a feeling that overwhelms everyone at the start. I would suggest there are some YouTube channels for that where they have a code base already set up. They teach you how to do the contribution, and there are some organizations for I guess it's there are organizations like Red Hat, जिनके पास the initial good first issues are relatively easy.
Okay.
So based on your code base, you can just Google search the organization which are really beginner friendly. There is I guess Rocket Chat as well, which is really beginner friendly if you know React.js. So based on your tech stack, first of all you need to find the organization that's beginner friendly.
Okay.
There are some organizations for example, for the JavaScript part, Processing Foundation is beginner friendly, but for the Android part it's not. So you need to make sure that the organization that you are choosing is beginner friendly for you to get into. Once you get familiar how to go about the code base, how to use GitHub, how to do your first contribution, then I guess you are good to go. After that you should look up at the past contributions that the people before you have made, because I'm not sure about other organizations, but in Processing Foundation it happens that whatever for example in 2023 I contributed to a project, then that project will surely be listed as a continuation contribution for 2024. That happens in Processing Foundation every year. So if you go about looking at what the person before you has contributed to the code base, what was their project and what was their input on it, or what was their stand, so you can really figure out what you need to do to continue the project.
Another question I would really like to ask, like as soon as I open the list of organizations that have been selected for GSoC, the criteria they put on the list that you need to have this knowledge, they like that's not a specific one. There are several ones which I don't meet all of them.
Yeah, you will never meet all of them. Even after I contributed to it, I still don't meet all of them. So just wipe that idea off your mind.
You don't need to learn every single language that's listed on the organization page. Software engineering is a career where you can learn on the fly. So it also depends on the project, that specific project you are trying to work on. For instance, an organization may have 4 different projects listed for GSoC, but every different project is using a different language, maybe PHP, maybe C++ or Java. So it depends on which project you are interested in working on. Suppose I am interested in contributing to the web project for that organization. It may require me to learn PHP, JavaScript or React. So you never need to learn every single stack. You start with the project and you can learn on the fly.
Alright, is there any way like we could like actually understand like which project is easy, which project is difficult?
I have a different take on this. I tend to go with the projects which are difficult to understand in the beginning. Once you get familiar with difficult ones, you will always find different the remaining projects easy to contribute to. So when I started contributing, I took up my first contribution with LibreOffice. It took me 2 weeks just to change a header file. Just to change a header file of a C++ project. It took me 2 weeks. And I used to write code on my notebook and then try to understand what's going on. There were files which were like 2000 lines of C++ code. I didn't have any idea about the code base, but I spent some time with it. I put some efforts into learning the language, learning what's going on, just to change a single header file. So you have to spend some time with it to get familiarized with code base. You'll try when you start with the code base, you'll see that different frameworks are being used, and what you will need to do is you'll start learning that framework, that particular piece of code. Say you learn about 2 different functions, that framework that's being used. So this is how you start. You have to take baby steps. You do one thing at a time, then move to different issues, and there is no such thing like easy issues or different issues. It's just a matter of skill and your expertise over the language. I might find some issues easier to understand, which you might find hard, and there will be projects in which you will be able to make contributions faster and easier than with less efforts. So it depends on your command over the language and framework. You have to spend some time and like get familiar.
Alright, I also have a last question, which is like, according to you guys, what would be the optimal amount of contribution, or maybe let's just say minimum amount of contribution that I should be having?
I don't think there is a minimum amount of contribution as such. The thing is, you have to actively communicate to the organization mentors as well as the entire community that you're working on something. Basically, as a proof that yeah, I'm working on this. If you're facing any issue, like you mentioned that you don't know basically how to implement or complex code issue, right? I would suggest that communication comes in a lot helpful. That if you contact the mentors, not just the mentors, if you ask the public communication channels there, that you're quite new and you want to contribute, not just GSoC, but like actually contribute to the open source. Usually people are quite helpful. Like I also received a lot of help. Like previously Vaibhav mentioned about QTML, right? I actually write QTML. And I would tell you that there's not much resources out there if you like struggle somewhere. For JavaScript, there's a lot of resources out there. But so what I did when I actually faced an issue, I communicated. Mentors were quite helpful, and the person who helped me the most at that time was not even a mentor. He was just a community person who was quite active and quite helpful. He still helps me every now and then whenever I face an issue. But yeah, communication is very important. The community in general, not just the mentors you're targeting, but the community in general is the way forward. Where you more active you become, the more people recognize that yes, you're part of the community.
If you're showing the mentors that you are trying to solve the issue, they would definitely help. Like they would definitely choose you and help you. to tackle that issue. Like ऐसा कभी हुआ होगा कि you are looking at the issue and कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा, ऐसा हुआ?
Every time.
So what you do is that you just give a very generic approach or general approach of what you actually think about it, and then ask for help from the mentor instead of thinking कि ये क्या सोचेगा and what would he think. Just talk with the mentor. He would definitely help you solve issues.
I have been in this situation, but इस टाइम ऐसा होता है ना कि ये नहीं पता तो इसके लिए ना ये जानना पड़ेगा, अब वो भी नहीं मालूम तो फिर उसको जानने के लिए और कुछ बैकएंड में चाहिए होगा.
That's what doing your homework is.
Yeah, that's what your homework is.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone.
Do you have any more questions from the audience?
I had a question for the audience. So we've been going on about Google Server of Code and open source for a while, and I want a description of Google Server of Code. Any one words from anyone from the audience, just to feel that the audience gets what we're talking about.
Can you repeat the question?
Okay, I want you to tell us about Google Server of Code.
Yes, as of my knowledge, it usually happens in May month, and there are different projects from different companies, and we have to make a contribution in that. And also, like there was a something like a prize amount that they were mentioning, like $6,000 or something, if I am not wrong about that.
Okay, that was a good start.
Okay, so for me, Google Server of Code is a platform where multiple companies come in the Google, and they give the project to the companies, to the students, and they try to get the open source contribution in that, so they can fix that the problem is there. And for them, they give the stipend, I guess $3,000 per month to the students, and it is quite helpful for the students to gain their knowledge and expertise, like how the company works and how the environment is working. And plus, you also get so many interviews where an internship is required and a certificate is required. So for that, Google Server of Code is, I think, the best opportunity in my mind.
I understand that for all of you, stipend is a very attractive amount, but you have to think from the organization's perspective as well. They also want that people get more active in the community, right? I understand that stipend 3,000 बहुत बड़ी amount है, but if you think long term, you have to become more be a contributor there, right? Job opportunities will also open up if you are still staying with the organization beyond the point of GSoC, because I've seen many people who do get selected but then they leave after completing their GSoC. But if you have to truly make use of it, be more active, and also I guess selecting a project also comes in if it's alright. Should I actually? Yeah. So basically, get the most out of the GSoC. Make sure to select a project which you as a person is quite interested in. Something you use daily, like कोई software use कर रहे हो, bug आ गया है, बहुत irritating लग रहा है मुझे, बहुत time से है ये, कोई developers ने अब तक ठीक नहीं करा. Join the community there. Almost all the open source organizations have the active Slack or some communication channel. Matrix हो गया, Rocket Chat हो गया. Join there. Tell about your issues that you're facing. Probably report a bug. And if it's not a major bug, if it's something that you can even work on, they'll actually help you out as well, because they welcome people who are actually quite who care about the project, right? So beyond that, I would say कि हाँ ऐसी community करो जैसे तुम्हें पसंद है. तो इससे तुम्हें भी थोड़ा लाइक एडवांटेज कि हाँ यार मैं इसमें कंट्रीब्यूट करूंगा, मैं ही यूज कर रहा हूँ, मेरे लिए भी यूजफुल है। और बियॉन्ड दैट, और जो मेजर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होती है ना, जो बड़े ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है GSoC की, दे यूजुअली हैव सम पेट्रन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, जैसे जो उन्हें पैसे देते हैं, फंडिंग देते हैं। And many of these organizations actually hire people who are developers there. So that's also a major attractive point for it, beyond GSoC as well. GSoC हाँ है, but aim of GSoC is to get people to contribute, ना कि stipend amount.
Okay, so I have a question.
Please continue.
So just in case तुम्हें नहीं पता है, like apart from stipend, once you complete your GSoC project, तुमको Google का एक email आएगा कि you are a preferred candidate whenever you apply to Google from now onwards. So वो भी एक added advantage है. Like अगर तुम future में कभी Google पे apply करोगे, तो you will get preference over other candidates. पहले तो होता था कि direct interview round का तुम्हें option मिलता था, like you get a fast forwarded track to interview at Google. But अभी होता है कि ये परमानेंट तुम्हें एक प्रेफर्ड लिस्ट में ऐड कर देते हैं, जिसमें तुम कभी भी अप्लाई करोगे तो तुम्हारे अपकमिंग एप्लीकेशंस में तुम्हें प्रेफरेंस मिलेगी।
ऑल्सो इसके अलावा जो मेरे लिए सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट रिवॉर्ड पॉइंट है वो होता है नेटवर्किंग। लाइक यहाँ तुम इंडिया में बैठे बैठे यू आर एबल टू नेटवर्क विद पीपल हु आर लिविंग इन यूरोप, US and वहाँ की companies से network, and this is how you get a remote job basically. The more you create a network, the more chances, the more opportunities you would have. So GSoC is not everything. Other open source programs भी होते हैं, and अगर like I contributed to KDE for like 1 year before GSoC. And I didn't even target GSoC. वो अपने आप हो गया, like I asked the mentor कि मुझे ये प्रोजेक्ट करना है, and he said okay. Like there wasn't any big competition or anything जब मैं कर रहा था. So I think networking is the main important thing. किसी और को कोई क्वेश्चन है?
I had a question from the audience. Another one. Okay, so we all use Google Server Code and open source. But I want to know what's in it for you. As someone from Amity, why would you choose Google Server Code over, let's say, a traditional internship?
Just like Aakarsh mentioned that if we find a bug, then we can solve that. So I believe that is one perk of OSS.
Okay, and what if that problem exist for you?
If that doesn't exist for me, then other things which I might find, I could enhance them rather. If not features, then enhancing them would work.
Okay, I had a take here, and if there are any other takers for this question, I would love to let them have a go.
So I'm quite on the opposite side of spectrum. I haven't contributed to open source yet. I have done internship, but the one thing I feel is that OSS has over internship is that you directly contribute to a running project. On the other hand, on internships, first you are given small jobs to just test you out, and then you are, if you qualify to that, then they make you work on a real life project. On the other hand, OSS is right on to the job and you need to work on a real life project. So that is, I think that has an added advantage that you start on a real life project and that has more experience to it than internships.
I'd like to add one thing. The fact that you're able to contribute to a project at 2 AM is great. It fits my sleep cycle. I don't have to show up at office or attend meetings. They are scheduled to my sleep cycle.
Okay, so a lot of good points here. First, you get to make impact. Second, you can work whenever you want to work. Third, the money is not bad. But I have another one. Okay, as someone from Amity, when you're just starting out, no one's going to give you a good internship. Let's just be a fact to most of you, but not that enough.
या तो मैं GSoC नहीं करता, अगर मेरे पास कोई बिग टेक इंटर्नशिप होती, प्रॉब्लम नहीं करता या दोनों कर लेता।
So the spirit of open source aside, there are those who do not care about it, which is fine. The spirit of contributing to a project that matters aside, it also matters to you on a personal level, because for a lot of people you need some way to kickstart your career, and that's a way most Americans do not get. And that's where open source things and public contributions really shine. I'll give you my personal example. I joined Amity in 2020. I was probably at the lowest point in my life. I didn't think I'd be doing computer science. I ended up doing computer science. So things were not going well for me. I started learning programming through this course known as CS50 by Harvard. A lot of you might have heard of that. It's an excellent course. I would recommend to everyone. Right after that, I was lucky enough to be introduced to Joomla and an open source program by the Chinese Academy of Sciences, sponsored by OpenOiler, which is a Linux distribution made by Huawei for the local Chinese market. And that is really, I think, a turning point for me, because right from that point on, I did really well at Joomla. I was, in fact, I'd say one of the best contributors for Joomla that year, as validated for me by the community. So that really helped me feel more confident about myself, feel like I can do things, get rid of some of the imposter syndrome that we talked about earlier, right? So having people tell you that what you can do is good and that you can really make an impact changes your perspective on life and makes you confident. And confidence is really important, right? So Dave.
Okay, so I'd like to add something to this. Apart from becoming a better developer, when you contribute to open source projects, you tend to become a better developer. You improve your development skills. Apart from this, those contributions matters in professional life as well. Like when I was giving my interview for Sprinkler, I mentioned that I didn't do DSA practice at all for like past 6-7 months. I didn't practice for intern season at all. I was just busy contributing to my GSoC project, and I mentioned that to the interviewer, and like it eased the interview a lot for me. They understood what I was trying to do. They understood why I didn't practice DSA for the past couple of months and why I was busy working on my open source project, my GSoC project, and it helped me land an internship at Sprinkler. Like I practiced GSoC during all 3 rounds of my Sprinkler interview, and it definitely helped. For someone who didn't practice DSA at all, cracking Sprinkler was like really big deal, and open source contributions matters. Even Zomato, when visited our college campus, it mentioned in the application that open source contributors will be treated separately, like they'll be preferred over novel applicants.
Yeah, I share that experience a lot. I think I mentioned earlier that contributing to open source was a turning point for me. And right on from Joomla, I went on to contribute to other open source projects, which was enabled by my experience at Joomla and by the project work I had from my time at Joomla. After that, I worked at what is really a really good startup in India. And after that, I had the opportunity to work with some other startups outside of India. And at the moment, I work with a really small startup in Stealth, which has really few engineers, all of them from IITs. And I'm practically a founding engineer there, all thanks to the work I did in open source. All thanks to that was that it discovered me, and the skills in communication and the ability to execute it again from contributing to open source is what keeps me afloat.
I want to add to what Vaibhav said. How many of you know how to reverse a linked list? I still don't know that. In my interviews, I also, being honest, I told them I did my Google Summer of Code and Linux Foundation mentorship, and I don't know any DSA. So they just asked me normal technical questions rather than asking DSA, which gave me an edge over other candidates. and I got selected for the job. So this is like a really good thing to have open source contributions.
Yeah, I agree. Recently, I had an interview with a company in Japan. It's called Mercari, for some of you might have heard of it. So generally, people have DSA-centric interviews with Mercari for starter roles. But as someone who had experience in open source and who had contributed to some projects relevant to my job description, most of what we talked about was the nature of my work at open source projects, the nature of my work at a startup I'd worked at before, and I was fortunate enough to receive an offer from them without any DSA.
So, sir, my question is, as an average student, and I'm doing MCA, okay? So, my question is, can open source and DSA go hand in hand?
Yes. In fact, I'd say that DSA is really important in the broader scenario of the job market. It's something I do myself also, even though I have a pretty good job already and other offers. But in the context of the larger market, a lot of the offers that you can potentially get are from companies who do whiteboard style interviews and DSA centric hiring tests. So that's something you don't need to do if you want to do them to make a larger set of jobs available to you.
I think this is the best combination if you know open source as well and DSA as well. Then no one will beat you. But given the limited time in the university, you can only practice one skill to a good extent. So I did open source. If you are able to do both, then it's really good.
Okay, so I also have a question. What should third year students do? Should they focus on placement or is OSS manageable on the side?
भाई दोनों पर ध्यान देना ये कभी जॉब नहीं है
Same here, no job but OSS.
वैसे इजी होता है लाइक GSoC प्रोजेक्ट को मतलब फोकस करना भी इजी होता है. मैंने इंटरनेट GSoC एक साथ किया है तो कुछ इतना टफ नहीं होता. PPO भी आ गया, ठीक है, इतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं होता, तुम कर सकते हो मैनेज. थोड़ा सा टाइम मैनेजमेंट इंपॉर्टेंट होता है एंड टाइम मैनेजमेंट इज अ क्रूशियल स्किल जो लाइफ में तुम्हें किसी न किसी पॉइंट पे ज़रूर पता चलेगा कि आना चाहिए.
एटलीस्ट DSA का एक क्वेश्चन एक दिन में एक कर लेना, प्रैक्टिस रहती है, तो फिर छूट जाता तो गया था.
Also, I do suggest अगर थर्ड ईयर में हो, take a project that's manageable, क्योंकि हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मेंशन करती है कि जो प्रोजेक्ट लिस्टेड है whether it's easy, medium or tough, and उसमें कितने weeks लगेंगे. And with weeks they do mention hours. For example, 350 hours का प्रोजेक्ट है, 200 hours का प्रोजेक्ट है. So you can calculate that yourself कि तुम्हें प्रोजेक्ट पूरा करने में कितना टाइम लगेगा and how you can go about it.
I think open source because like DSA तो सभी करते हैं. Like ऐसा बहुत rarely कोई person होगा who is not doing DSA, है ना? तो open source helps you stand out from the crowd, and who doesn't want to stand out in the bunch of interviews? So I think do both, and if you can focus, you can also focus on open source.
Do both. Most importantly, learn how to manage your time. That's something that most people struggle with, and why people can't fit more things in their time. Time management is a very important skill, and if you are good enough at it, you can do both. No problem.
And a follow-up question. Being in Amity, you know how tough it is to manage your time. Since you have to stay here even if you don't have class. So how do you manage that with being in Amity and contributing to everything?
Okay, so distractions are aplenty at Amity. I try to limit the set of distractions that take away from the time I have for the things that matter to me and focus more. For example, I invested a lot of my time in breaks and in classes into doing things that matter more to me, and that helped. Well, it also helps to realign your company, the people you hang out with people who are doing similar things and have similar goals, so that you talk more about those things and do those things together.
Do you have any questions from the audience?
Like as you said that open source is eventually will say. So like if you do open source, will like if our CGPA is also down, so will it give edge over that also?
Yeah, the CGPA down and maybe CGPA down already. So open source, in the longer scheme of things, if you are like कि हाँ मुझे ये करना है specific thing, if you are aware कि तुम्हें क्या करना है in the longer scheme of things, yeah, DS से तुम्हें starting में बहुत help करने वाला है, not just in the job perspective, but तुम्हें normal like computational level of knowledge भी तुम्हें देंगे, how things work, stacks का क्या use है, real life क्या use है, graph कहाँ पे आते हैं, they're quite important, not just from the job perspective, but if you have to become a good engineer, DSA are quite important. But apart from that, open source the thing is, like I previously mentioned, there are a lot of organizations who hire developers straight from the environment contributing, right? तो वो एक scene है. But अगर longer scheme of things तुम्हें क्या करना है? Corporate side में जाना है. If you have other like OSS के उस पर थोड़ा तुम्हें focus रखना है. दोनों they are two different paths for that.
First year में बहुत सारे तो guys like I suggest that कि first year में CG लाना काफी easy रहता है, तो उस टाइम CG लेके आओ, क्योंकि मैंने आज तक नहीं देखा कि किसी की बढ़ रही है first year से CG कमी होती देखी है first year experience.
And can you tell me that how to register for GSoC? Like I tried to register it, but it was asking for OSI license or something that. And at what time we can contribute at GSoC? मैं एक बार पुराने वाले क्वेश्चन का आंसर करता हूँ. CGPA मैटर करती है, ऑन कैंपस में तो डेफिनेटली करती है. स्प्रिंकलर ने जब ओएल दिया, बहुत सारे लोग थे, 3 क्वेश्चन वर आस्क्ड एंड मैंने 2 आंसर किए थे. बहुत सारे और भी थे जिन्होंने 2 आंसर किए. जस्ट बिकॉज मेरी CGPA स्लाइटली ग्रेटर थी बाकी बच्चों से, सिर्फ मैं सेलेक्ट हुआ था इंटरव्यू राउंड के लिए. और अगर तुम ओपन सोर्स कंट्रीब्यूशंस कर रहे हो तो यू विल बी एबल टू एक्सप्लेन टू द इंटरव्यू कि तुम्हारी CGPA क्यों डाउन है. तुम बता पाओगे कि यू आर बिजी डूइंग समथिंग एल्स दैट मेंट समथिंग मोर देन CGPA टू यू. तो तुम ऐसे बोल सकते हो उनको कि क्यों डाउन है CGPA, एक्सप्लेन कर पाओगे.
I just like to add that you need to ask yourself why your CGPA matters to you and what it delivers to you in the end, right? For us at college, if you don't want to go for higher education, masters, something, the CGPA is mostly important for getting into being qualified for on-campus placements, which point A is they're not very good at Amity. Point B, there is a minimum threshold, which if your CGPA is above that, above probably an 8.2, you're good enough. So just keep that in mind and set benchmarks that can help you realign your focus.
Can you also tell about the second question which I asked? Like how to register for GSoC, and when I tried to register there, they were asking about OSI license or something. And when we can contribute in GSoC at what time?
Right. So I suspect that you try to register as a participating organization rather than a participant. For participants, there are no such requirements.
I think there are a bunch of videos on YouTube that we can go through to register, how to register on GSoC, Google sites. Is there any other question?
As you guys had mentioned about the proficiency in programming languages, so
can you just speak a little louder?
As you guys mentioned about the proficiency in programming languages, I'm also doing DSA side by side. So when do you guys think like I should start contributing to GSoC and this? like in open source in general?
He's asking about when he is ready to contribute to OSS.
Event के बाद start हो जाना. I don't think there's a right time to start contributing.
Like I'm doing DSA side by side, so what kind of advantage I'm going to have?
Of having open source, you mean that?
No, I'm doing DSA side by side, and while doing open source, do you think like I'm going to get any type of advantage while
I'll answer that. Okay, DSA is data structures and algorithms. So we have multiple data structures, arrays, stacks, queues, graphs, and others as well. So tell me one thing, linked list के जितने भी questions होते हैं, can you solve them using arrays? सोच के देखो एक बार.
No.
You sure about that? क्योंकि linked list क्या होता है कि basically एक array है, बस उसमें you know the next address of it. बट एरे में बस वो सेम तरीके से स्टोर होता है, बस एड्रेस में एक बाइट का डिफरेंस होता है. सो लिंक्ड लिस्ट इज वेरी सिमिलर टू एरे. तुम लिंक्ड लिस्ट का कोई भी क्वेश्चन अगर दिमाग लगाओ तुम एरे से सॉल्व कर सकते हो. बट व्हाट लिंक्ड लिस्ट डज इज कुछ सिनेरियोज में वो तुम्हारा काम काफी आसान कर देता है. सेम गोज फॉर ग्राफ्स, ठीक है. एंड तुम ग्राफ का भी क्वेश्चन मोस्टली एरे से सॉल्व कर सकते हो, बस कोड काफी ज्यादा बड़ा हो जाएगा. सो इफ यू डू नॉट नो when to use, अगर तुम्हें ग्राफ के बारे में पता ही नहीं है, you wouldn't know when to use the graph और कहाँ तुम्हारा काम आसान हो सकता है. So that's where data structure helps. मैंने ऐसे अलग से जाके कभी कोई क्वेश्चन like obviously एक दो तो करे हैं, ठीक है, but I have not done lead code like religiously. So मेरे I guess over the past 4 years total 150 questions के आसपास lead code पे solve करे होंगे 4 साल में. But I do know what graphs are, what linked lists are, queues क्या होती है, कैसे यूज करनी है, because they help you to develop and write better code. So that's where it helps. And same thing goes for algorithms. So it's not like कि तुम्हें कोई अलग से जाके help कर देगा. It's just that हमारा thought process develop होगा and you can write better code and concise code. That's more readable.
तुम ये पूछ रहे हो ना कि DSA के साथ ओपन सोर्स करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए, right?
Not that, but like I was asking like what kind of advantage I'm going to have while contributing an open source project.
Okay, so clean code तुम्हें करना पता चल जाएगा, like how do you write clean code, you will get better at understanding the code, ठीक है. तुम कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हो लार्ज कोड बेस में, तो तुम जब DSA करते हो तो तुम्हें थोड़ा इजी फील होगा कोड राइट करना. एंड इंटरव्यूज में व्हाट्स इम्पोर्टेंट इज यू राइट क्लीन कोड. ऐसी मतलब बिना किसी प्रॉपर इंडेंटेशन के तुम कुछ भी लिखे जा रहे हो, वेरिएबल नेम्स कैसे ABC दे रहे हो, ठीक है. व्हेन यू डेवलप समथिंग तो तुम वेरिएबल नेम्स थोड़ा मीनिंगफुल देते हो, एंड ये एडेड एडवांटेज तुम्हें एज देता है इंटरव्यूज में. लाइक द इंटरव्यूअर विल गेट टू नो कि हाँ ये बंदा प्रोडक्शन रेडी कोड लिख सकता है, ठीक है, जस्ट बिकॉज ये DSA क्वेश्चन में भी कमेंट्स यूज कर रहे हैं एंड ही इज राइटिंग मीनिंगफुल वेरिएबल नेम्स, मीनिंगफुल फंक्शन नेम्स, प्रॉपर इंडेंटेशन यूज कर रहा है, ठीक है. इंडस्ट्री कोड कैसा होता है कि बहुत ही फॉर्मेटेड होता है, उसमें रूल्स होते हैं जिन्हें तुम ब्रेक नहीं कर सकते, ताकि क्या एक स्टैंडर्ड मेंटेन रहे. तो whenever you contribute to open source projects, वहाँ पर भी तुम्हें ये स्टैंडर्ड्स you need to follow code conventions. And interviewer जब ये नोटिस करेगा तो he'll give you additional points for that. So this is the added advantage you get when you contribute to open source projects.
Thank you.
I had a question. Please go. If anybody had a question from the audience, can go ahead.
So hello everyone, my name is Suyesh Pandey, and basically I have this query that I am from cybersecurity niche, okay, and I am into ethical hacking and bug bounties, and previously I have contributed to some open source communities like some VDPAs also, and just wanted to ask कि अगर हम Google वाले जो बात कर रहे हैं, okay, and अगर मुझको उसमें contribute करना है from the niche of cybersecurity and ethical hacking, so like what are the pathways to go for that?
Okay, so my background is in cybersecurity. I started with cybersecurity as well, like most people start. We'll watch this room. Okay, so even in cyber security, there are a lot of open source projects. HoneyNet project के बारे में सुना होगा. And there's OAS
also, Crowd, and so much other platforms. But just wanted to ask from the scope of GSoC, like what we have to actually do for that. Like, hello, like अगर for example मुझको कोई भी open source community में cyber security मतलब हमको hacking करनी है and we have to apply for that to a company and then report the bugs and then get the like what is the comeback of that? That is what I want to ask.
GSoC is strictly based on software engineering and not hacking. To be honest, you can
absolutely.
You just need to. You can contribute in developing the software. You can't contribute in actually hacking the organization or getting bounties on it.
Like I'm talking about security patches. Like, isn't there a scope for that?
It's organization specific. Most of the organization that comes into GSoC from the security perspective, they usually have a demand of developing a software that can be used in security.
So it's not more about contributing to the security flaws, right?
Yeah, it's not about that.
So not go for that.
You can still use your cyber security knowledge in contributing to the security organizations in GSoC.
Okay.
Bounty में you learn for vulnerabilities and so how are you going to define a project based on your findings? अगर GSoC में they ask you कि what do you want to work on during the GSoC phase, तो तुम उनको क्या project वो suggest करोगे?
See, come on, being very prior to this thing, GSoC, I'm first a newbie to this, okay? So, in my opinion, if it is an open source community and we are contributing to the organization, so my perspective was from my niche, that is cyber security. So, अगर मैं security में contribute कर सकता हूँ from the end of from the server side attacks or some client side attack, तो of course वो somehow or say more prior company में बहुत ज़्यादा add on कर रहा है so that their system don't get breached in future or in present. So from that perspective I was asking कि like is it okay to go for that, or besides I'm preparing for CCT, that is cyber security technician, certified cyber technician. So like
GSoC organizations are open for personal projects as well, but you need to define your projects and its scope. What do you want to do during the GSoC period? So vulnerabilities क्या on the fly you will find ना.
Okay.
तो उसकी कोई specific scope नहीं है.
Okay, that is what I was asking.
तुम जो objectives define करोगे project के उसमें you won't be able to mention जो specific vulnerabilities तुम find करोगे upcoming months में. So I don't think कि कोई organization will accept that project because उसमें scope defined नहीं है. तो you'll have to provide them with a roadmap ना कि how are you planning to complete the project. तो उसमें तुम बोलोगे कि I'll try finding vulnerabilities, but उसमें कुछ वो नहीं कि इतना impact होता है vulnerability का CVs report करनी होती है. So वो काफी dynamic process है. You won't be able to statically determine. तुमको एक list दे दी कि I will find 10 bugs and I'll be able to report 15 vulnerabilities, CVs and ये सब. तो I don't think कि unless तुम्हारे पास specific scope है, they'll allow you to take part in that project.
Okay, I think GSoC is based on project rather than a job. So like in job, क्या कहते हो कि हर month कुछ fixes आ रहे हैं, security vulnerabilities, new CVs discover हो रही है. And you're in a security check on the organization and उनके patches fix करते हो, security patches fix करते हो. But GSoC, you need to define a project that I would be working on this, I would be creating this specific thing. And you also need to give a weekly timeline of what you will be doing during those weeks. So you can't actually define with the security vulnerabilities जो future में आएंगी.
So like can't we say it kind of like कि हम ये time period के अंदर we are going to scan the back end and the front end or the server side things, we cannot fix it as a scope?
I think every organization has a sysadmin and a security technician as well. So उनकी job होती है कि back end scan करना, and GSoC is more like people को open source पे लेके आना students को. using a project or anything that you can contribute to. It's not like a job. It's basically you're developing something under a mentorship.
That's more of a developer's thing then, right?
Yeah.
Not more of a cyber security or security patches we can go for there, right?
Yeah. I think in OWASP you can create vulnerable boxes as part of GSoC. Like there was one project in which you need to create like you have used try hack me, hack the box, right?
Yeah, I used it.
So OWASP also creates some vulnerable boxes that you can use to hack. There was one project based on it. You can create that. That comes in developing scope.
What if I make a team of people where one is a developer and the OWASP part can be done by me? How about that? Like, can we make some management like that?
No, it's individual aspect.
Okay. Okay, good. Fine, thank you.
So, you mentioned that there are many stacks that companies take in GSoC, like Malik sir said Qt and Kubernetes. So, I'm a React developer. So, can you suggest me some other field or some other where I have a higher hand and can go for it?
C++ प्रोजेक्ट्स में आ जाओ, कोई नहीं होता, गट्स चाहिए,
वो है।
हाँ तो फिर पार्टिसिपेट करके देख लो एक बार, क्योंकि उसमें कोई लाइक रिएक्ट के यहाँ पे बहुत सारे डेवलपर्स मिल सकते हैं, बट यू वोंट फाइंड C++ डेवलपर्स।
कंपटीशन होगा, बट जावास्क्रिप्ट लेवल वाला कंपटीशन नहीं होगा।
काइंड ऑफ खुद से कंपटीशन होगा कि कितना यू बी एबल टू लर्न, ठीक है। वहाँ पे
मेंटेनेंस भी थोड़े ज़्यादा हेल्पफुल है। मेरे केस में आई फाउंड पीपल हु आर क्वाइट हेल्पफुल। हाँ, C++ का मैं बोलूँगा कि ज़रूर इसलिए वो भी कंट्रीब्यूटिंग फैक्टर है। बट हाँ, C++ में यू गेट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल हु वुड बी लाइक ठीक है। जावास्क्रिप्ट में तुम्हें बहुत ज़्यादा मिलेगी। इंडिया में रिएक्ट पैकेज बहुत ज़्यादा फेमस है और बहुत वाइडली यूज भी है इंग्लिश ओवरऑल, तो एक्चुअली वहाँ पे तुम्हें ज़्यादा कॉम्पिटिशन नहीं मिलेगी।
Sir, can you suggest me some language? Because I'm doing DSC in C++. So,
what language are you comfortable with?
So C++.
I was like C++. You can find projects.
C++ में there is. Okay, so let's just pause here and we'll keep these questions for the Q&A session. Continue with you.
Sorry for the interruption. Tushar wants to explain the timeline of GSoC so that everybody has an idea of how to go about it, how to approach GSoC.
Okay, right. So the GSoC timeline starts with an application for the organizations, right? So let's say you're an organization like OWASP or KDE or NO, and you want to participate in GSoC, get contributors for your org, get paid to contribute to your org using the server. So you apply to Google Server Code and the org application is open. And then there is a process where Google screens these organizations, only selects legitimate organizations that have a good plan for the Google Server Code and accepts them, after which the organizations put out reject proposals if they want, and contributors are welcome to start contributing and submit their proposals eventually. Right? So once contributors have submitted their proposals, there is also a deadline for the submission of these proposals. And post this deadline, there is a short gap, after which the organizations announce who has been selected when projects have been shortlisted for the GSoC period. And contributors are announced, right? And after, once you have been selected, a community bonding period starts where you are expected to familiarize yourself with a set of people that you will be working with, your mentors and other community members, for example, and start contributing to the project in a way that's aligned with the final goals of your Google Server Code project. So after this, there is either a 3 or a 6 month period, depending on the length of the project and how much you want to stretch it. Since that's something we can talk about later, the project durations are variable and you can be flexible how much time you want to spend on them for time builder. Once this ends, there is also a midterm evaluation, a final term evaluation, during which the organization decides whether your contributions are good enough or not, and at the end you get paid for your contributions depending on the length of your project. It's either a 175 hour project or a 350 hour project. You get paid either $1,500 or $3,000 for the entire duration of the project. That's 3 to 6 months.
Just one more question. That we talked about communication in GSoC. How did you guys communicate during your GSoC period? And like, as a person, I don't use Discord as often, and subsequently Slack as well. So a person who is not comfortable with Discord feels pretty uncomfortable having conversations there. So how do you go about that?
Right, so that's something that you need to get used to. When you see organizations that you want to contribute to, you will eventually end up on their communication platform, whether you want to or not, because you need to talk to people who cannot contribute in a vacuum. And that's something communication platforms help you with more than GitHub will, because you can have more personal communication with a shorter feedback loop. Right, so you join these platforms and eventually you will see how people tend to interact here, what the structure is. There are either channels or their personal groups that you can choose to join, and at that point you're free to talk like other people do and start communicating, which is very important. So in my case, I was in Joomla, which back at that time used a platform known as Central. It was much like Slack, so kind of like Discord, where you had groups, and my organization made a private group for me just to discuss the particulars of my project. But it might vary with your organization. Some organizations have public channels for all the contributors, some projects have slightly different structures, so that might vary. But apart from that, it might be a platform. For me, it was again Central. Joomla later migrated to a platform known as Mattermost, which is different. It has a better user experience, but the fundamentals remain the same. You communicate with the same people that you know, or you get to know more people, and you get to see what other people are talking about.
Yeah, and what I did was chat कर दिया उसको, तो याद रहता था कि कम्युनिकेट करना है, and डेस्कटॉप पे भी पिन कर रखा था डिस्कॉर्ड को.
But like, yeah, you guys want to talk about your communication platforms?
Processing uses Discourse, not Discord, Discourse. They tried making a Discord channel around 2 years back, but that didn't work out well for the mentors. So they switched back to Discourse. So you can think of it as a social that was there before Discord and Slack and Rocket Chat and others. तब से चलता आ रहा है, and mentors are familiar with that. So that was relatively new for me. But after that, I got in one-to-one communication with my mentor. We usually communicated over WhatsApp and all. So मैं तो direct call भी कर पाता था. There were 2 mentors. One was overseas, so I had to use the Discourse for him. The other was one-to-one communication. So that thing can be worked out with your mentor. Like if you are not comfortable with one, you can ask them if we can switch to another. And mostly mentors are very helpful. They would try to make you as comfortable with while contributing to the project as much as they can.
KD uses metrics. किस पे आपको metrics के बारे में पता है? कौन से वाला metrics के बारे में पता है? मूवी की बात नहीं करता हूँ. So basically, maths की भी बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. Just to confirm, metrics is a decentralized platform. तो वो भी just like you have WhatsApp and बाकी communication channels की तरह ही होता है. A lot of open source organization uses metrics because it's open source and metrics भी वही चैनल of code में आती है. तो KD uses metrics as a channels and वहाँ पे तुम जाके search कर सकते हो कोई भी channel का नाम and join their communication channel and introduce yourself.
Inkscape uses Rocket Chat to conduct developer communication like developer chats, and apart from this, LibreOffice uses HexChat. HexChat is the worst platform. Like तुम कभी उसको experience करना नहीं चाहोगे. Now they have shifted to metrics. But in case अगर तुम HexChat में गए, तो मैं like take my word, तुम पहले ही developer बन जाओगे. तुम्हें channel join करने के लिए भी you need to submit some commands and all. तो जस्ट विश कि तुम्हारा जो भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वो हेडसेट यूज ना करता हो.
Right, so as everyone mentioned, each organization has a different way of communicating, and depending on your project, your organization, your mentor might also not be in the same time zone, right? So like for example, if they're in the US, there might be a 10 to 12 hour difference. If they're somewhere else, there might be a 5 to 6 hour difference. But because of these time zone differences, sometimes your communication feedback loop might be a little longer. For example, you drop in a question or a message today and you get a response the day after. But that's something you have to get used to. You can also decide with your mentor to have weekly calls depending on what they are comfortable with, and that way you can sync up. And just asynchronous communication is anyway very important because you're going to have to do that at your job too eventually, and it's something that helps you be more precise with how you communicate because you get fewer chances to communicate too well.
So, moving on to takeaways, I hope you understood how GSoC works firstly and how you can start your journey there. I'd like them to emphasize more on how networking works there and how you ensure that you are up to the mark for your overseas journey.
Repeat your question, please.
I just want to ask you about how networking works there and how you could be up to the mark for your GSoC journey.
Yeah, networking with
the mentors, people out there who are hustling just like you.
Right. So again, depending on your organization, your mentors might be from very different walks of life. Some projects, the mentors are from more academic backgrounds. Some others are from more industrial backgrounds. Your mentors might be working for some big tech company, being paid to contribute or maintain the project that you're contributing to, or they might be doing it in their free time on their own will, or they might do it as part of their research work at the university, or for the doctorate, for example. So that of course gives you a lot of opportunity to get to know people and to network with people that you wouldn't otherwise if you did not contribute to open source. And that I think is deeply impactful, right? Because just how much that helps you expand your network to, you might discover in year two after doing GSoC that a job that you're applying to is indirectly related to someone that you work with during GSoC, or it might be that you get a job directly from someone you work with in GSoC, or let's say you're doing a contractual project with them. So it opens up a world of possibilities, and it helps you legitimize yourself as someone who is in the network and makes an impact. So that's my take.
Does anybody want to add something to that?
For networking, as no specific point, but like I had a co-mentee who was very friendly with me. He sometimes even helped me out in some issues, and we both used to read our chats like जो भी मेंटी से नाम होती थी हमारा प्रोजेक्ट बने रहता था but we used to read all these things and दोनों को एक दूसरे प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में पता था कि क्या क्या चल रहा था so sometimes he used to review my code and मेंटर से पहले वो मुझे बताया था explanation
मेरे during my GSoC period मेरे पास नेटवर्किंग के लिए इतने लोग थे क्योंकि प्रोसेसिंग फॉर एंड्रॉइड में सिर्फ 3 ही डेवलपर थे द फर्स्ट वन हु बिल्ड इट द सेकंड वन हु वाज GSoC मेंटी बिफोर मी एंड द थर्ड वन वाज मी सो 3 ही लोग थे जो पूरी उसको पूरे रेपो को संभालते थे आई वाज इन डायरेक्ट कम्युनिकेशन विद माय मेंटर बाकी देयर वाज अनदर वन हु वाज ओवरसीज सो ही वुड जस्ट कम देयर टू रिव्यू माय कोड give the final thumbs up and then my code was published so networking was not that big of a deal for me बस एक से ही बात करनी होती थी
I used to communicate with my mentor and as well with the developers in the devs channel. So that was all for me. They in Steve specifically mentioned that it is better if we conduct open source like object-oriented conversation in the devs channel so that everybody is like up to date with the project and everybody is on the same page what's been going on and if I need help with something or if I'm stuck with something. So I just used to communicate with my mentor and in the devs channel.
I think public channel में usually open source people wants you to communicate in public channels only because एक public history मिल जाती है that you are contributing to this and these are the challenges, these are the problems that you are facing. तो कोई भी देख सकता है. That's one of the reasons. And again, one thing about communication that I want to say is that don't DM the mentor without asking them. In public channel, ask them if you can DM them, and don't directly DM them. तो वो maybe reply ना करे because it sounds rude in other countries कि you are directly DMing without actually contacting the mentor. So keep that in mind.
Again, like as much as possible, communicate in public. It's good for you and good for them. No one appreciates being privately messaged without solicitation.
Would anyone like to add something? So I have a question regarding the evaluation that goes on in GSoC, and if the organization doesn't really accept my code, will I still get paid for my efforts?
Hard one, but in general, if the evaluation is negative, then no. But it's not. Again, I think.
Okay, so the evaluation usually depends on mentor, not the organization much, or not the admin of the organization who is managing this program, nor the Google. If your mentor posts the code, then you will definitely get paid.
Exactly. So that takes me back to my point. If evaluation is negative, then yes. But at the end, it comes down to you and your mentor. And I'll circle back to my point about communication from earlier. Just communicate. Even if you're not able to do very well in the project because of constraints that are related to your time or because technicalities, make sure that you communicate them well in advance with your mentor and that you are on the same page. So even if the final outcome of the project is not positive, which it happens a lot, you will pass the final evaluation because you made sure to keep your mentors in the loop and talk to them and make them see your side of the story.
Okay, I would like to add that because I guess I'm the ideal person to answer that question. Initially, during the midterm evaluation, I had two deliverables. One was related to migrating the VR library. The other one was adding a feature to the AR library. So I started with the VR library, but we got to know after starting that I took a massive project that seemed too unrealistic to be completed within 4 to 5 months. So what we did was let's do the AR part first, and then we will figure out what to do with the VR part. So I did the AR part in 1 month, and then we switched back to the VR. Now the main issue was that project required me to know GNI, CMake, and how to use C++ libraries in Java code in a multi-modular project. And that was something that the mentor said that even they can't do, so उन्होंने हाथ खड़े कर दिए थे. And everyone was like, this is a failed project, ये नहीं हो सकता. मेरी गलती नहीं थी. They said कि it was a failed project. So what they did was they extended my timeline till 6th of November. कि this is your time, we are extending your time as much as we can. Okay. And there was literally almost no course available that could help me learn GNI and CMake. So I found one on Coursera. I did that. I learned GNI, I learned CMake. I did my best. And by I guess 25th October, it was 25th October, and I was still struggling with my final deliverable. And अगर वो 6th November तक नहीं हो पाता है, I would have failed the project. So what mentors did was they changed the deliverable a bit. Do one thing, make wrappers over the C++ libraries, which can be later used by Java projects, which even other organizations can use. No need to complete this project because this one can't be done. So I did that, and I did that thing in 8 to 10 days. And by 6th November, we piloted the final deliverable of the project and I passed my final evaluation. So as long as you are working hard and you are in direct contact with the mentors, keeping them updated about what's happening and what you are learning and what you are doing at the moment, they will help you and you will definitely pass your evaluations as long as you show up and work hard.
Guys, we have Shivkant with us. He's also a GSoC participant. If you could introduce himself.
Hello guys, hope you are doing well. I am Shivkant and I am a pre-final year graduate from IIIT Jabalpur. I am currently in my third year, as I told, pre-final year. So my specialization is in computer science engineering. We are gathered here around, we are talking about open source. So I have been contributing in open source foundations from October 2022, and I am also part of GSoC this year in Oppia Foundation. So that's a brief about myself. My project was Dockerizing Oppia, which includes tech stacks like Docker technologies, Python, GitHub Actions, and these kinds of things. So yeah, that's a brief about me. I'm also upcoming ST intern at Cisco, and very sorry that I was late. I was just confused about the timings of this event. Thank you.
Also, do you have any thing to say about the evaluations of GSoC?
GSoC evaluations. So, as they all said that the evaluations will be in 2 phases, midterm and end term. So you need to have at least completed your project 80% in order to get passed. Otherwise, they will simply fail you. Evaluations will be based on many things like your number of lines also and the status that आपने project कितना complete कर लिया है. Most of the projects में क्या होता है कि आप completely feasible नहीं है कि आप वो project पूरा complete कर सकें. अगर वो एक मीडियम टू हार्ड प्रोजेक्ट है, इस प्रोजेक्ट्स तो कंप्लीट होने ही चाहिए. उसके अलावा अगर जैसे अभी गौरव ने भी बताया कि उनका प्रोजेक्ट थोड़ा अनफिजिबल था और वो कंप्लीट नहीं, कुछ रीजंस की वजह से वो कंप्लीट नहीं हो सकता प्रैक्टिकली यूज, तो वो सब चीजें कंसिडर करते हो सब लोग. मेरा प्रोजेक्ट भी पूरा कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ था. अभी जिस फाउंडेशन मैंने ओपिया फाउंडेशन में कंट्रीब्यूट किया था, तो उनका कोड बेस एंगुलर जेएस में भी है, जो कि एंगुलर 1 है एक्चुअली. सबसे पहले एंगुलर 1 को एंगुलर जेएस होता है. तो एंगुलर जेएस और एंगुलर 11 दोनों के वो मिक्स्ड अप कोड बेस. इस वजह से डॉकर चल नहीं रहा था 8GB सिस्टम्स पे. तो इशू ये था कि उनकी पहले रिक्वायरमेंट थी कि आप जो भी कंट्रीब्यूटर आ रहा है उसको 8GB सिस्टम चाहिए एटलीस्ट, क्योंकि बहुत सारी सर्विसेज रन होती है जब हम सेटअप करते हैं सिस्टम, तो एटलीस्ट 8GB चाहिए. लेकिन डॉकर एक अलग से एक हेवी टूल आ गया आपका ऊपर से, वो कर्नल के ऊपर आपकी कंटेनर्स बनाता है. तो वो रिक्वायरमेंट 16GB हुई थी कि अगर आपका सिस्टम 16GB है तो ही आप डॉकर यूज कर सकते हैं उसमें, वरना 8GB पे सर्वर स्टार्ट होने में 30-40 मिनट लेता था. तो उनको उस चीज उन्होंने कंसीडर किया, अभी डॉकर को बोर्ड पे डाल दिया. एंड ऑफ कोर्स आई पास माय फाइनल इवैल्यूएशन. सो if you are in direct contact with the mentors and the maintainers of the organization, then they will consider all your requests. If you are very humble and you have a practical reason, like what is the current status of your project.
Does Vinayak want to add something?
Yeah, mostly everyone passing the evaluation. Mostly, as long as you are in touch with your mentor and you are showing up to him and बात करते रहना मेंटर से, तो एक उन्हें पता चलता रहता है कि आप काम कर रहे हैं, नहीं तो फिर पास ही फेल है.
We're going to start the Q&A, and the guy I stopped in between with the question. Could you please ask your question again if you still remember that?
I was asking the same question. I got my answer.
Let's read what you asked. I just had one question. After this Q&A session and this meetup has ended, what if I have more questions? Where do I ask that? How do I get to know more about my doubts? How do I approach this?
You can definitely connect to any of us on LinkedIn. Most of the people who have been a part of such program know how important it is for someone to guide you. And everyone has got guidance when back then they were students, when they were sitting in your chairs. So everyone is very helpful. Given that you have done your homework, you shouldn't ask doubts like, "Bhaiya GSoC में कैसे contribute करूँ?" There are ample number of videos available on YouTube. But if you have very specific doubts, for example, I am trying to contribute to processing foundation, but उनके code base में this problem है, इसे कैसे solve करूँ? Then you should look up, okay, who has contributed to processing foundation. Go up to them, ask them, connect to them on LinkedIn, Discord, or any other social. Mostly की social profiles bugged up होती है, Google search करोगे मिल जाएगा. So do your homework, reach out to them, they will definitely help you out.
Right, and besides that, I think ALiAS is also planning a series of AMAs. So, if you guys have more questions, if you want to periodically check up with other people who have contributed in GSoC or any other such project, you can participate in the AMA series, collect your questions, and just ask them whenever you want to.
Yeah, and I want to add something. Like, अगर किसी को LinkedIn पे reach out करते हो, तो ढंग से करना. Like some people just say, भैया मीटिंग पे आ जाओ, कॉल कर देते हैं, वो सब नहीं होता. So सीधा क्वेश्चन पूछो and आंसर मिल जाएगा. आगे अपना क्वेश्चन है तो पूछो, नहीं तो बस.
Learn how to communicate.
So, as Tushar said, we will be building a community with ALiAS members and those who are interested in making open source contributions. This will serve as a place to prepare for and participate in OSS programs together. You can ask questions, share insights, and you can grow together as a community.
If you guys have any questions, you can ask.
Hello everyone. About myself, I haven't, as I said before, never contributed to open source. I am more into ML side of things. I have done internship. So what are my chances as a, I have experience but not in OSS side. So what are my chances for GSoC as a potential candidate?
So actually from this year onwards, Google has decided to introduce a lot of machine learning projects. So there is actually a very good opportunity as well. In fact, one of the people I know who contributed in AD, her project was based on machine learning as well. So they actually, in the coming years, in fact in this year onwards, they have introduced a lot of projects. So if you, it's 22nd January is the date where they are like started to receive, they'll start to receive the organization participation applications. But yeah, you can look at past. There are some past organizations, but yeah, this year they will increase it massively. So
Also, another question I had, as an organization, if some organization wanted to be a part of GSoC, so what is kind of like overthrow procedure for that? If anyone of you can throw some light.
Okay, Google has specific guidelines regarding to that. You can just Google it up and you can see what the organization needs. Actually, I was contributing to GSCARD before that, so back in November I guess, and they wanted to be a part of GSoC. So I went through the guidelines once, and there were some specifics. For example, the organization needs to be non-profitable for around 5 years I guess, and they should have this many stars on GitHub. I guess that was one criteria as well. Baki, they have several listed. You can just Google it up and read it over there.
Also, if one of the bigger organizations are present, like Python Software Foundation, go Harsayo, like Harsayo. So, big organizations like AD also and known as well, they do get selected a lot every year. Also, if you have to like track key console organizations there, GSoC website then there's also GSoC organizations.dev. वहाँ पे I used to do that कि like previous कितने सारे possibility, but it's not necessary that an organization that was part of GSoC last year will get selected this year. So you have to like take in multiple organizations.
Even if the organization is selected, there are a set number of specific slots allotted to the organization. So it may happen that your organization has only 5 slots and 20 applications for contributors. So they would rank the projects and gives loads to them. So keep that in mind as well.
But I guess isn't that something that's hustle, like hustle between the mentors कि किस project को select करना चाहते हैं किसको नहीं. एक mentees की tension नहीं है, वो mentors की tension हो जाती है.
ये आपको mentors की tension होती है, and the thing is कि जो सबसे ज़्यादा important project होता है organization के लिए, they usually rank them up.
Yeah, you need to be relevant. तुम्हारा project organization के लिए कितना important है and कितना relevant है. For example, mine was क्योंकि VR library काम ही नहीं कर रही थी and I was like कि मैं ठीक कर दूँगा. So it was really relevant. इसलिए Android को एक slot मिल गया. वरना processing foundation is entirely based on JavaScript and all. वो Android को mostly नहीं देते. But it was very relevant for them. इस वजह से मेरे को एक slot मिल गया. But it's a very likely कि इस बार शायद ना ही मिले Android को एक भी slot processing में. So you need to be relevant about your project and उसका impact कितना है on the organization. That's also something that you need to consider.
Do you have any more questions from
So I wanted to ask, do you have any tips for making a good proposal for a project?
There are no fixed guidelines for this, but like organizations like Inkscape mentioned that there is a specific template that you need to follow when proposing a project, and there are different guidelines for different projects. Say CNC projects may use a different template, and say LibreOffice may use a different template. So you need to look up for this on their wiki page or their website. So you'll find the specific guidelines there. What do they want you to specify in your proposal?
Yeah, and you can look for past year proposals, like previous year proposal. There is some GitHub repository, Saket past proposals something. And we will review proposal at ALiAS.
I want to add a thing that proposal आपका ऐसा होना चाहिए कि कोई भी बंदा जिसको प्रोजेक्ट को बिल्कुल आइडिया नहीं है वो आपको प्रपोजल देकर प्रोजेक्ट पूरा कंप्लीट करते हैं. वो इतना डिटेल्ड और इतना सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी होना चाहिए. लाइक उसमें क्या गोल्स आप अचीव करने वाले हो, अगर ये वाला प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट हो जाए तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए कैसे हेल्पफुल होगा, ये चीज़ इंटीग्रेट होने के बाद क्या मतलब यूजर्स के लिए क्या होगा उसमें फीचर्स और क्या नई चीज़ इंप्लीमेंट कर रहे हो, प्लस उसमें डाउनसाइड्स भी क्या आ सकते हैं इन फ्यूचर में. कोई बंदा उसको प्रोजेक्ट को करेगा तो उसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम फेस कर सकता है वो और उनका सोल्यूशन. मीन्स आपका पूरा प्रपोजल सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी होना चाहिए ताकि कोई भी नया बंदा अगर उसको सिर्फ प्रपोजल देखे उसे कहीं और रेफर ना करना पड़े कहीं और वो प्रपोजल से आपको पूरा प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट कर सकेगा. आई एम इंटरेस्टेड दैट इतना डिटेल होना चाहिए.
It's all good points. I would like to re-emphasize the importance of getting a proposal reviewed. So before you submit your proposal and after you have written an initial draft of your proposal, you can get it reviewed by other people who participate in Google Summer Code and other people who might look at a proposal. Sometimes even your mentors are open to reviewing your proposal before it goes in for the final submission. So get that done. In ALiAS, I think club is going to organize proposal review sessions. So if you're participating, be sure to get ready for those.
And I have got this question previously as well. So just to help you out, what I'll do is after this is over, I'll make a GitHub repo where I will list all the tools and the pages that helped me out during my when I was preparing the proposals, and I'll share it with ALiAS and they can send it to you. You can start the repo and use it to make your own. Cool.
Thank you for being such a lovely audience. I hope the session was insightful and we're able to answer most of the questions. I know that curiosity will spark in you when you go home. So if you still have questions, then here's a plug. ALiAS is an organization that is run by volunteers and you can become one too. We operate as a community and believe in the power of collaboration. So there's no formal hierarchy. You can join out either by filling the form at ALiAS.in or by asking a volunteer that is near to you. We'll be organizing sessions as Tushar mentioned, GSoC AMA sessions, and we'll be building a community that will be doing overseas projects. So you can help each other out, you can learn from each other's mistakes. You'll be able to improve quickly, I believe. And getting your projects reviewed, proposals reviewed is a very important feature of that. And I hope you'll take the advantage of that. Concluding, I'd just like to add on one thing that...
I think we have a question at the top.
Yeah, if you have a question.
Mr. Prabjeet, so I have done some open source contribution during Hacktoberfest, but the issue with GSoC organization is that I don't get assigned the issue. Usually what happens when I comment assign me the issue, no one responds, or assign me the issue, and when I try to solve it, usually has 2 PRs already, but they are not merged. Like they have posted a PR 3 months ago, but they are not merged. They are just there, sitting there.
Okay, so it sounds like you're contributing to an organization or a project that's dead or does not have an active maintainer. So you should try to find one that's more active and has some activity reviewing other contributions. You can get an idea of this by looking at the issues and the pull requests for the project and seeing if there are any pull requests on new issues that have received communication by the maintainers.
Okay, so just to end the session, I want all the mentors, panelists to just tell out one thing that will help you when you go home after this session that you must do in order to begin your journey today. Starting with Tushar.
Okay, so you should maybe lay out a roadmap for yourself if you're serious about applying for Google Summer of Code, contributing to open source in general. Write down your thoughts about the entire process, what's in it for you. It's very important before you go on any endeavor, start any project, to lay out why it's useful to you, what you want to get out of it. Just so you keep up with your motivation and actually follow through. So that's something you should do, introspect, decide on a course of action and try to stick to it. I'm sure other mentors have more points to add to it, but that's good for a start. Second, shout out to ALiAS. You should join this club. Until last year, I led ALiAS, and to be honest, it was transformative for my life here at Amity. I talked earlier about keeping the right company, and ALiAS is one place where you can get very good company, and that can help you change the trajectory of how your life here at Amity goes, and of course, the life you are. So, cheers to that.
Also, one more thing that I would suggest is, I'm not even talking about like programming and stuff, join the organization, like communication channels join karo, and try and build that organization to be projected on your local system. It's gonna take a while, मुझे 3 हफ्ते लगे थे, बहुत गंदा experience था, but at the end it worked. So it's gonna take a while, so आज से start करोगे उतना ही better है, and it's not even related to programming. And also a shout out to ALiAS. I was also a vice president there, and trust me, the company you maintain there, they actually like motivate you to become a better person of you, and not just in programming, in overall. So if you are interested, they are also like happy to help you.
The one thing that you should do when you're home is DSC. Just kidding. Okay, so I would suggest that communication is a key, so join the communication channels, just like Aakarsh said, but also look for other open source programs or just contribute in general, rather than thinking that you're contributing for a specific program or doing some of code. Just contribute in general and your life would be good. And also shout out to we have collaborated with ALiAS over some events. I'm from OSDC as well. That's like Technical Society in JP Noida. So we have collaborated with ALiAS for a couple of events, and these folks are really great. So a lot to learn from them.
To that point, last year I organized the Google Summer of Code story series, and OSDC was instrumental in making it possible. They gave us a lot of help with mentors and planning. So shout out to OSDC. They have a very active Discord community where you can join even if you're not part of JP Noida or the club itself.
Okay, so I'd like to suggest you to switch to either Mac or Windows. Ditch Windows, use Mac or Linux. That's the your first step should be you change your operating system and then you'll start contributing to open source projects, because on these platforms you'll be able to explore more of such projects like open source projects, and you'll be in regular touch with these projects, and then you'll be able to understand the significance in your life. You'll be able to use many open source projects, and then you will understand what it means to contribute to an open source project. Because if I am an Ubuntu user, my primary operating system is Ubuntu, and it is a free open source project maintained by Canonical, if I am not wrong. And it means the world to me. People are contributing, they're spending their time on developing such operating systems, and similarly you'll feel proud कि जब तुम खुद कहीं contribute करोगे and other people will use it, ठीक है? तो ऐसे explore करने को मिलेगा, थोड़ी hacker vibes आएगी, and एक step ahead हो जाओगे proud के, for sure.
I completely agree with him. Actually, मेरा शायद GSoC इसीलिए निकला क्योंकि मेरे लैपटॉप की बैटरी ढंग से काम नहीं करी थी, and I had to switch to Linux, Windows हटा के. So that was a major part, switching to Linux. Apart from that, I do suggest you to find a project that you can actually, you can see it to the end, and a project that you value, because that's how I myself learned development, and it has been like that since the start. So I do suggest you to find a project that picks your interest.
So I have two tips. Shortlist at least 2 organizations at start, but when the organization list comes, contribute to only one. It's better to focus on one rather than two. And contribute after the application deadline is over. It worked for me at least. I was contributing to during April to when GSoC season, GSoC applications are over, and I think that boosted my profile other than from other competitors. I had a good competition. 8 to 10 other people were there on my project, but I was the only one who was contributing to the project after the application deadline.
So and at that you should be open to the new things. कोई भी मेरे को ये वाला टेक्स्ट लगा तो मैं इस पे कंट्रीब्यूट करूंगा, ये बिल्कुल मत सोचना. ओपन सोर्स कंट्रीब्यूशंस मेनली इसलिए होते हैं कि आप अपनी अपस्किलिंग कर सको और नई नई चीजें सीख सको जो आप पर्सनल लेवल पे नहीं सीख सकते. या तो आप किसी इंटर्नशिप में सीख सकते हो या फिर ओपन सोर्स में. सो ओपन सोर्स इज द इजीएस्ट वे टू डू दैट, and yeah, open to the new things and don't be scared of anything. Plus I'll tell you a small thing that जब मैं Oppia सेटअप कर रहा था तो मेरे को सबसे ज्यादा दिक्कत सेटिंग उसको सेटअप करने में लगी थी. I'm a Mac user and it took me around 7 days to do just to start the server. So I saw a project to dockerize Oppia. So it was generally solving everyone's problem. So picking up a good project is also a main thing. Open to the new things and pick up a good project to get selected with a strong proposal. That's all.
एक और final piece of advice is you change your ID to RIP and you stop using auto completion. ठीक है? Then you will be able to understand कि road code करता क्या है and कैसे यूज होता है. अभी तो बहुत सारे होते हैं जो co-pilot यूज करते हैं, they rely heavily on auto completion, but auto completion strictly बोल रहा हूँ मत यूज करो. हमेशा यूज करेगा जब तुम एक सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर बन जाओगे तब यूज करना, टाइम सेव करेगा तुम्हारा. बट इनिशियली you'll be able to understand the code better and you'll be able to learn faster if you stop using auto completion.
Thank you, panelists. We'd like to invite Manya. She is the GDSC lead and a final year student at Amity, to talk more about GDSC.
Hello everyone, I am Manya and I am a final year CSE student at Amity University Noida. I am the GDSC lead for Amity. And yeah, first of all, thank you so much to ALiAS and all the speakers for a wonderful piece of advice on GSoC. And I hope you all got some experience with that. And we hope to first of all see you all to start contributing to GSoC this year. Talking about GDSC, we are basically, GDSC is basically a parallel organization of Google, which basically aims to promote Google technologies among students of various universities. So we host sessions or campaigns around Google technologies, as you might all know, Google Cloud, Android, TensorFlow, to name a few. And yeah, recently we've also been promoting and encouraging students to participate in a global level hackathon of GDSC, which is called as the Solution Challenge. So I don't know how many of you are already a part of our community as of now, but we'll definitely communicate some links so that you can join our community as well. We'll communicate that to ALiAS, and after the session, if you have any doubts related to GDSC or you want to inquire more about that, you can reach out to us as well. So yeah, thank you, and thank you to the speakers once again.
Thank you guys, thank you for...
Excuse me. Can I ask one question?
Sure.
Can you suggest some iOS dev organizations? Actually, I'm doing Swift.
Swift also takes part in
I know, but they do, they have the problems in low-level programming. So I don't have much knowledge. So are there any organizations? I have heard of Rocket.Jet, Zulip, but they are more, they are using TypeScript Python.
You should search for React Native, on the projects which use React Native. I guess Android is driven on React Native. So you should try searching for those projects.
Tell me one thing. Yes. So iOS में अगर तुम कोई ऐप डेवलप कर रहे हो, you need to pay to publish the app now.
Yeah, 8,000 rupees.
Open source is free. So do you think there will be an open source app that you need to pay to get published?
Thank you.
Yeah. So concluding with the event, I guess the events, thank you for staying with us and thank you for sitting so patiently here. We'd like to if you'd like to join any communities like ALiAS and GDSC, you can contact the nearest volunteer to you. And I hope to see you again at such events. Thank you for being with us. Thank you to the panelists for taking out time and giving out such valuable pieces of advice. And the LinkedIn profiles are in the PPT, so you guys can scan the QR codes and message them after doing your homework. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, please, could you please gather around the stage for a photo?
इतना टाइम नहीं